Oh boy, here is the modern day resistance against Donald Trump. Hey, if they want to fight, send them to Ukraine. They need all the support that they could get, as the situation there definitely is very tumultuous, as we had some major groundbreaking moves made by Donald Trump and Emmanuel Macron, the French president, that just announced a major escalation in this conflict that has the Russians responding here automatically. I want to get into how Donald Trump is changing up the established old world order in this particular video, and just kind of give you the latest updates with this very crazy, wild situation that all of us are in, and a lot of us aren't willing participants in this larger kind of proxy war that even our Secretary of State actually called out. As he says, what's happening right now in Ukraine is essentially a larger war between Russia and the United States, as now both parties have said, you know what, we've had enough here. Let's stop this nonsense. As the third parties here that barely helped out, that barely did anything, that were on the bench predominantly this whole frickin' time, that barely invested in anything, are saying, no, we want this game, this dangerous gambit of World War III to continue. Everyone else is saying no. So this is very surprising that Marco Rubio actually said this out loud, because this is something that I've been saying from the very beginning of this conflict. Before this conflict started, what happened in 2014, we were describing to you as the first steps towards larger escalations between the East and the West, the larger proxy war. Romania now is going to be potentially the next battlefront there, as they are undemocratically going up against their own elections because of alleged, quote, Russian collusion. But this is what Marco Rubio had to say on the Hannity show, which I thought was very concise, very important, and it signals that the United States has had enough of this larger, insane, destructive war that is helping out absolutely nobody. It's wrecking economies, it's wrecking energy infrastructure, it's wrecking the planet's ability to live in peace, and it needs to end now. And even Marco Rubio, the guy who is known for being the deep state guy, the CIA connected guy, the larger kind of guy who hangs out with Lindsey Graham and used to hang out with John McCain, that guy's even calling for the end of this. This is seriously a major move in the right direction, in my opinion.
It's been very clear from the beginning that President Trump views this as a protracted, stalemated conflict, and frankly, it's a proxy war between nuclear powers, the United States helping Ukraine and Russia. And it needs to come to an end. And no one has any idea or any plan to bring it to an end. The plan of the Ukrainians up to now and their allies on Capitol Hill and the people you talk to in other countries is, let's just keep giving them as much as they need for as long as it takes. That's not a strategy.
Yeah, and it's a lunatic strategy. It's someone that, of course, just wants to see the earth burn and young Slavic men lose their lives over this, as Donald Trump has now cut off the military, cut off intelligence, and he has just announced that he is offering more pressure towards the Ukrainians, as he has revoked the temporary legal status for nearly 250,000 Ukrainian refugees in the United States. Now, some people are saying this is the wrong move to make here. Other people are saying, well, these are just probably all the politicians' kids. This is probably all the rich, corrupted kids in Ukraine that are connected to the bureaucracy there that have lived off the government taxpayer that were able to afford to have come here. Other people are saying, no, that's not the case here. These people actually do deserve help, do deserve our assistance here. But it's clear by this larger move, Donald Trump is trying to put maximum pressure on Zelensky, as what I expect next to happen is, of course, larger disclosures about accountability, where the money actually went, where the weapons actually went, as a lot of people are going to be surprised about that. I expect Starlink to potentially be cut off here as well soon. And when that happens, the Europeans are kind of left on their own, and the Europeans are very divided, and one of the kind of escalatory countries that has always been propelling and pushing this conflict is, of course, France. And the former Rothschild banker, President Emmanuel Macron, just came out and is proposing a French nuclear extension to his European allies. Now, we don't know the exact specifics here, but essentially what he is saying is, we'll nuke Russia if Russia attacks certain countries. Is that country also going to be Ukraine? Ukraine here, as the French also have volunteered their troops for deployments of peacekeepers. And, of course, having NATO, European Union troops right on the border of Russia isn't something that the Russians would be okay with. But in a televised address just a few hours ago, the French president said, you know what? Russia is a threat to France and Europe, and we wanted to confer with European allies on using France's nuclear deterrent to protect Europe. That doesn't protect Europe. That brings us on the precipice of potentially blowing up Europe, since Russia is a nuclear-powered country, has a lot of nuclear weapons, a lot of nuclear weapon capabilities, and of course the Russians are condemning this larger kind of escalatory statement by the French president, as we have Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov saying that his remarks on television are, quote, very, very confrontational. Yeah, because they are. They're extremely confrontational, escalatory, and dangerous for the world to, of course, have to deal with right now, as it's pretty clear. The British, the French, they're the ones that are predominantly saying, you know what, even though we didn't take part in financing this like the United States is, we want to continue this. We want to run this back. And the fact that they do shows us that there is a direct kind of breaking up of the old Western order, and it's probably going to be revisioned under Trump's own foreign policy. Before talking about the new world order in a new perspective of actually the global order and hegemony here, we wanted to tell you about lukeunfiltered.com. Sign up now. One of our members that I'm talking to right now was like, hey, I know you sometimes want callers for the live show, but I think it would be cool if members get to ask questions whenever they want so they don't have to be here for the live show. And I'm like, that's great. We are on Telegram. If you're a member of lukeunfiltered.com, we give you a link to a secret Telegram channel only for members, where you get to talk to like-minded members. You get to talk to my team. You get to talk to me. And now, this is a brand new perk that we're doing because a member brought it up, and I thought it was brilliant, and I thought it was fun and really exciting. Send me a voice memo. Send me a video message asking a question, and I will answer it in these videos. We will do members-only sections, conversations between you and me on this show, on this YouTube channel, on all my social medias, just by you guys signing up to lukeunfiltered.com, and that's one of the many perks that you guys get. We're also doing a range day, March 16th, which is going to be super fun in 10 days from now, here in South Florida. So more details about that when you log in. How do you log in? You sign up here, whatever you could afford. Can you afford $15, $99, $8? Are you balling, or are you struggling to survive? If you're struggling to survive, don't worry. You don't need to sign up. But if you're doing okay, sign up. 20 cents a day. Anyone could afford that. It's like, okay, are you going to drink Starbucks, corporatist, blue armpit, haired, flip-flop, earring, yuppie coffee? You're going to have that little sugar bomb? That's horrible for you, spikes your glucose and destroys your endocrines. Are you going to do all that? Or are you going to sign up to lukeunfiltered.com and meet a great bunch of people, get your voice heard, get some one-on-one interactions, and also, more importantly, get to hang out and do some really cool, fun stuff. I'm going to be doing nature hikes all around the world, because what I'm going to be doing is I want enough people to sign up. When enough people sign up, I'm going to be traveling and doing on-the-ground reports. When I do on-the-ground reports, I'm going to do nature hikes, meetups with my members, and you guys will be a part of that whenever news breaks in your town. I will be there. That's the goal here. We have a certain goal that we're trying to achieve here. I got to get Stephanie on the goal meter so you guys could see every time you sign up. Oh yeah, we got one more. We're closer to this goal here towards achieving this larger perk. We're releasing a really fun Roger Stone video for members too. So again, we got everything there. Sign up right now. Click the link in the description. Click right here. Signing up, it's quick, it's easy, and simple. Check your spam and then log in, and then you get some really cool things like the seed oil cards and other things. But anyway, let's continue back to what is happening between Europe and Russia. As the Kremlin spokesperson said, quote, "It seems that the French indeed want the war in Ukraine to continue." Saying specifically, this is nuclear rhetoric and France's claim towards nuclear leadership in Europe. That leadership is, of course, being questioned, as the Russians also came out and said, yeah, guys, this crazy idea that you're going to have your troops, as you're threatening us with nuclear war, as you've been escalating the situation as you've been moving the NATO line for so long. The fact that you think you're going to just have NATO troops on our border in Ukraine is just kind of crazy here. And the Russians also are living in a kind of phobic state, thinking that the Europeans and NATO will be invading and attacking them. The Europeans also have that same similar kind of viewpoint. And essentially, one of the things that is propelling and pushing this larger notion and the expansion of NATO and the expansion of the European military state to be as bold as it is because of the United States. The United States now moving away from this, coming to Europe and saying, hey guys, let's try to align ourselves. Let's try to work together here. Let's try to not to, destroy the political lives of right-wing people in Europe. And let's actually give them some free speech. So we actually have more common bonds here and we could actually work together in the future since, that's how, countries should align on their values and then respectively trade with each other, work with each other, support each other. Europe said, "Sacre bleu, screw you." And they started arresting a whole bunch of people and bragging about it. Like, look at us. We're arresting people for racist memes. Stop the presses. Get the Gestapo now, immediately. Someone made a meme about a political expression and ideology that I just didn't like, and we just had to arrest them. Again, foreignaffairs.com had a very interesting article titled "When Nuclear Weapons Fail to Deter. The Ultimate Weapon is Not Always the Best Defense." And I would say, I would say it's kind of the worst defense because, during the Cold War, it did work because everyone kind of understood here, mutually assured destruction. But when you're dealing with almost every other escalation to the point of what we have seen in Russia and in Europe right now, I mean, truly, I don't think it's the best defense here. And I think people just do not understand how far nuclear weapons have advanced, how there's low-yield nuclear weapons. The Russians were testing out satellite missile systems that they used and implemented on Ukraine, by the way, as a show of force against the Europeans, saying that they wanted to prolong and expand that war inside of that specific territory. So, again, we're teetering on the edge of insanity here, and that's what nuclear weapons are. Nuclear weapons are an old, outdated kind of weapon systems anyway. There's more severe, dangerous weapon systems that cannot be stopped by defensive shields. And again, what we're seeing in Ukraine is just absolutely tragic. And now a lot of people are even speculating that it's not going to take long for the Ukrainians to lose a lot of their significant defensive lines, as people are saying that they're going to run out of weapons soon since the United States cut them out. Elon Musk asked a very kind of ironic, important question to the Danish NP, saying specifically, how many more parents with no sons? I don't know about you, but maybe Elon's not the best one to say something like that. As he says, they want the forever war. And yeah, war is very lucrative for the military-industrial complex. He says, how many parents with no sons? Elon, come on, dad boy. How many more children with no fathers? Elon! Buddy boy, is that microchip malfunctioning in there? By their logic, it never ends. Yeah. And these are the kind of bombastic, crazy statements made by heads of states in Europe that are just declaring, no way Russia could win here. Russia's not going to win here, no matter what. Okay, but that doesn't mean we have to be involved here for this large kind of grandized idea that brings us on the brink of total and absolute destruction of the world many times over.
Idea about Ukraine is the same as it has been now for 3 years, that they have to win this war. And if we allow Russia to win the war, I'm sorry to say...
Okay, again, these blanket statements are pissing me off, because what do you mean Ukraine has to win this war? What does winning mean? How do you categorize winning here? We haven't even defined what is winning and what is losing. To me, stopping this war right now means both sides win. Means the Slavic people win. The Slavic people being just absolutely obliterated, having all of the people just ripped away from their homes, sent to the front lines, as Zelensky's talking about. No, we'll just open up Ukraine for immigration afterwards. We'll just allow it to be a safe haven for all the BlackRock, State Street policies and globalist endeavors that want to be implemented here. We'll sell off your future. We'll sell off your resources. We'll sell off everything. As the Ukrainian women are literally flying around, getting freaking screwed over by all these. This The situation for Ukraine sucks. It's horrible. It is absolutely tragic and awful. And to see this to happen to my fellow Slavic people, it's an absolute disappointment. It's a failure of leadership. It's a failure of leadership from all sides here. We want this thing to end here. We need it to stop here. And for these people to say, no, we have to win here. What does that mean? How does that kind of, how does that represented here? Again, no exact specifics. Why? Because if they gave specifics, they would have to actually meet those larger demands here. And what are they kind of meeting? What are they acquiescing to? This larger globalistic vision perpetrated by some really awful, horrible people that have been pulling the strings of Ukraine and a lot of their corrupted politicians for a very long time now. CIA money has been going to Ukraine ever since the early 2000s in order to destabilize that particular region. Now the fight is on in Romania, which probably will be the next battlefront. And, save me the clutching of the pearls by these politicians that are literally describing how they got PTSD because of the way Trump treated Zelensky. Again, it wasn't good to see. I get it. But to declare that you had PTSD is just absolutely pathetic and ridiculous here when we have a scenario and a situation where people are actually getting PTSD on the front lines as there's these robotic hunter-killer drones out there literally taking their existences even when they are disarmed, begging for mercy. They don't get it. Those drones don't take any prisoners. You get the white flag. Throw away your weapon. I surrender. I give up. Please, do not take my life. Do not take my existence. That drone. Evil. Stop this evil right now. If you agree, share this video. Start talking about it. Make your voice heard. Fight the propaganda. So much disinformation, especially in Europe right now. I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on youtube.com/wearechange. Sign up, lukeunfiltered.com.